Paulaner Kristallklar.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bangs, Bikes and Booze Reviews. The sun has come out and it is definitely over the yardarm, which means it's time for a beer. And I have got one from the famous Paulaner Brewery. This is the Weissbier, but the Kristallklar. Obviously in German that means crystal clear. Why is it crystal clear? Because it's been filtered. It's not just Weissbier that's been filtered. It's got its own strain of yeast as well, I'd imagine, and it's got its own unique type of flavour. Paulaner, of course, are one of the biggest breweries in Germany. Certainly in Munich, they virtually pioneered the Oktoberfest down there, and yeah, they produce some of the best beer in Germany, in my opinion. They're absolutely fantastic. The Weissbier is outstanding. The Helles is outstanding as well. Both got a 10 out of 10 for me. In fact, I don't think there was a beer from them that didn't get a 10 out of 10. And the reason is the malts taste amazing. Now, German malt is absolutely amazing, and it's unique. It's got a nutty sweetness to it, and it varies from southern Germany to northern Germany. If you drink a Pilsner in northern Germany, the sweetness isn't as intense. Bavarian beer with that absolutely amazing nutty sweet malt is, in my opinion, some of the best beer in the world. Certainly the best Helles. You know, you see these craft brewers brewing lager and they're calling it Helles and all that. They don't even come close. And in my opinion, the best lager in the world comes from Bavaria. That's the Augustiner Helles, which is absolutely amazing. And again, it's got these malts. I'm hoping this has got them in there too. As I say, I've not had a bad one from them, and I'm assuming that this isn't going to be bad either. If it is, don't worry, I will tell you. But it would be very, very odd for Paulaner to produce a bad beer, because they just get everything right. So let's shut up and let's see what this is all about. Right, this is a 500ml bottle. It is a 5.2% beer. It's a Kristallklar Weissbier. So what that is, it's a clear Weissbier. It's been filtered. Now, I've found with certain filtered Weissbiers that they lose the flavour and obviously lose the mouthfeel, because a lot of that residue from the wheat, and there's no residue from the yeast either. So the flavour intensity is less slightly, in my opinion. But I still like the Crystal Weiss. It is a really nice drink because it's just got that, the lovely banana, clove and spice flavours that you get. And with the Paulaner stuff, you normally get a fantastic malt with it as well. So without further ado, let's get this bottle open. Before I open it, here's the cap. Usual Paulaner cap, very nice indeed. There is the label. There is the word, can you see that? There is the word Kristallklar. And it's in a brown bottle, which is always a good thing. So let's get it open and let's see what is going on. Right, on the nose, out of the bottle. Right, now, I don't know whether this is because it's been in the fridge, but there isn't a lot of malt aromas coming from this. There is some banana, spice and clove coming from it, But I would have expected some more of the malt, because the Weissbier was absolutely teeming with that sort of flavour. Do you know what? I've found this a couple of times from beers that I pulled out of that fridge. I think that fridge is too cold. I'm going to have to turn it down, because, I mean, this is absolutely freezing cold. So maybe I'm killing some of the aromas and the flavours by having it really cold. I'm going to take it down a notch or two. Anyway, let's get it into the glass. Maybe I can get some more out of the glass in terms of aroma. Now, there's a lot of carbon. Alright, let's get the rest of it in there. There is, of course, no sediment in there because it's all been filtered out. There it is in the glass. Carbonation, absolutely going for that. Head, not much of. One finger, white head, foamy white head. On the nose. Oh, there's a bit more malt coming through there now. Touch of banana and clove, but it's very subdued, which I'd sort of expect from a crystal Weiss, because they've obviously filtered out a lot of the yeast and the wheat in there. But it's a lovely golden colour, look at that. But the carbonation is absolutely massive, but there's no head. Well, there's a one finger white head on it, and that is exactly what it looks like. So let's stop guessing and let's get this down the hatch. Prost, as they say in Germany. That's nice. That's really nice. You get in the banana and clove esters off the yeast in here. They're toned down compared to a natural Hefeweiss. What I am getting from there is a fair bit of carbonation, but if you look at the bubbles, you'd think that would be absolutely exploding in the mouth, but it's not. There's very fine carbonation in there, and it actually complements it. Now, I tried the Franziskaner Dunkel last night. I reviewed it, and the carbonation was a bit obtrusive, and it was spoiling it for me. In fact, I'd give that quite a low mark. I didn't think much of it at all. This, on the other hand, is a lot better. There's that lovely earthy hop flavour, and I think they're coming from the Hercules hops that are in this, and there's also some of that nice nutty malt. But I'm going to let this calm down a bit, because I think this is a bit too cold. The flavours are a bit, I think they're being subdued by how cold it is. I'm going to let it warm up for a short while. I will be back presently. Right, I've let this calm down a little bit now, so the carbonation has gone down a little bit and the temperature has slightly risen, so it's a touch warmer than it was when it came out of the fridge. That was really cold, and I don't think I was getting all the flavours that I should have done from it. I think I'd subdued them with the cold. I've turned the fridge down as well, so hopefully that's not going to affect any beers that are stored in there. So let's try again. And immediately there is a big difference. That is a hell of a lot sweeter, almost bubblegum like, but it's really nice. Lovely. The flavours aren't as intense as as you would get from a Weissbier. They're still there, and the malt does seem to come through a bit more. and that's really nice malt as well. Nice sweet, nutty Bavarian malt. There's a little touch of earthiness on this, which I like. There's big banana and clove, as you would expect, but there's also some of them bubblegum esters that are coming from the yeast. In fact, that's probably the biggest sort of bubblegum flavour I've had from a Weissbier or a Crystal Weiss, and it is nice. It takes you by surprise when you try it. The carbonation on this has settled down now, and it is really nice. The mouthfeel is superb. Oh, the improvement on when it was ice cold, flavour wise, is astounding. It really is. This is one of them beers. I mean, this, you know, a lot of brewers, they give you a recommended temperature to drink the beers at. Now, of course, if you drank this Crystal Weiss, if you drank that ice cold, that would be super refreshing. But I think you would miss out on some of the great flavours. So what I did there was I let it stand for about 10-15 minutes, just let it warm up a little bit, let the carbonation calm down, and what a difference. What a big difference. Huge flavours coming out of it now, whereas before it was really subdued. So that I've always said this as well, you know, if you drink something too cold or you drink it warm, I think you lose something. Obviously, if you drink it too warm, you're going to lose the refreshing qualities of a beer, and if you drink it too cold, you're just going to subdue all them flavours. I think, and I can't for the life of me remember exactly what the measurement is, but there's a certain amount of degrees that you go over, and you're basically just killing any flavour there is. And you find that in a lot of bars in Spain and these hot countries where they've got that light beer. And to be honest, you know, I will slag it off because, you know, I go on flavour. But where they store it so cold that when you're drinking it, you're not getting any flavour at all. It's just a nice, cold, refreshing drink. And if there's a bit of high ABV in it, then, you know, you drink a few of them and you're going to get drunk. But getting back to this, the malt on this is absolutely superb. Banana, clove, touch of spice, bubblegum as well, and it just makes for a great beer. It almost looks like a lager. And to be honest, I've tried the Weissbier Crystal as well, and that was good. I don't think it's as good as this. I may have to revisit the Crystal, maybe even do a comparison video, because this is really good. So what's the verdict? To start off with, when this was really cold, I was disappointed. I thought it wasn't up to the usual Paulaner standard. So I let it sit, and it's warmed up a bit now. And the difference is just night and day. This is just full of good flavour. The malt in this is that sweet, nutty Bavarian malt that you get in all good quality beers from Bavaria. But what does it for me is the bubblegum and the banana and the clove esters on this really come through. And it just makes for a really good, refreshing beer. If you're not a fan of Weissbier, maybe you should try the Crystal Weiss, because that is just as refreshing as any lager. And to be honest, if it was a toss-up between a lager and a Crystal Weiss, it really would depend on the lager as to what I would prefer, because this is just as refreshing. Got a lovely smooth finish to it. The mouthfeel, I mean, you saw what the carbonation was like when I started up on it, but look at it now. That is just superb, and it looks as good as it is. Tiny bubbles in the mouth. It just slips down. It's like silk. I love it. I absolutely love this. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. But it wasn't going to be a 10 out of 10. So, if you're going to have this, make sure you drink it at the right temperature. Don't stick it in the fridge and put your fridge up to 10 so you get a really cold, or whack it in the freezer. Let it just cool down a little bit so it's just a little bit more than chilled, and you're going to get some fantastic flavours out of that. Really good, really good. 10 out of 10, definitely recommend it if you can get it. I got this from Beers of Europe. It's not widely available. You have to order this online. I've seen the Helles and I've seen the Weissbier over here, not seen this. So get on the Beers of Europe. It's worth it, believe me. Really is good. 10 out of 10, recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.